Hello. Apparently, it's Wednesday, August 27th. Something that I knew but wasn't fully aware of until just a few minutes ago. I was actually in bed, all but asleep, and all of a sudden I realized that it was Wednesday, and I had to make a video. So, we're just going to keep this one real simple. The computer is all but up and running, and so we'll go through that next week. But and so I got a few shots of me putting together and whatnot. Well, sorry, I screwed up. Anyway, being that I screwed up, I feel that I should at least include a story or a topic of some sort. And with all the unrest in Ferguson, I figured I'd talk about my first run-in with the police. And that was when I was probably about 6, maybe 7 years old, probably closer to 6. And I grew up in a small town of 5,000 people, and we had, there's Main Street, and it has traffic lights, and, only a handful of them. And, it's only like 10 blocks long or something, so it's a tiny town. But one day, I was riding my bike with my mother and my little brother, and I was riding, and we came up to Main Street, and I was a little bit behind my mother, and she made it through the green light, and then of course it turned red when I got to it. And I knew the traffic laws and whatnot, so I stopped and I waited there for it to turn green. But what I didn't know about was this, the right, making a right on red, which we're allowed to do in this country, and most countries don't let you do that, or left on red, or whichever side of the road you drive on. But so I was unaware of this rule, and so I'm sitting there at the red light on my bike waiting to go, and the car on my left goes forward and makes this left-hand turn. And I was like, oh, light must be green. I can go across now because, the car started going. So I get about halfway out there, and suddenly traffic comes to a halt, I was in no real danger, but, I'm riding my bike out there, and sure enough, once you know it, there's a cop sitting there, waiting to make a left-hand turn on my left-hand side. And, so I get across the street, realize that I've messed up, and then, of course, the cop flips on his lights and his sirens and pulls me over. I'm 6 years old, and gets out of his car and proceeds to start asking me questions. And my mother, was, just right there waiting for me on the other side of the blocks, and she comes over, and and he starts explaining to me, the rules, and then I can't be doing this, and I'm like, I know, I messed up, I'm so sorry, and I was terrified, just absolutely terrified. But yeah, that was my first run-in with the cops. And anybody that knows me knows that I've had many run-ins with the police over my lifetime. I was not a model citizen. But anyway, that's about my marker. I'm going back to bed, and next week we'll do this right, and I might actually be able to edit on my other computer, so that will be nice. Anyway, cheers.